All right, welcome back. We're answering questions. I have a long-term question here about supervision. I'm telling you the good, the bad, and the ugly. And if you want to ask me a question, any question, not about supervision, this is high-tech stuff here. I don't have a prompter. I do have one, but I can't read. Okay. Email me at rsbcopstories@gmail.com. I'm answering all your questions, okay? So now we're going to my career as a supervisor. I'm a mid-level supervisor. Here's what's happening here. A lot of stuff going on. You know, I was working with 7 guys in a squad, and I'm teaching surveillance, and then I'm trying to develop my career because down the road I'm going to take an oral in front of 3 captains, and I want to have a nice big package of all the things I've done. So I'm trying to do as many things as possible so I can talk about it in my oral. You know, and an order came down, a request for supervisors to go to a city outside the city, small city, for their for entry-level orals. In other words, where young kids come in and take their first police oral to come on the department. And I thought, well, that'd be good. I can learn from that, and I can also see how it's done. And we have one, but ours is manned by some civilians and some police. But I thought I'd get my exposure in a smaller department. And it wasn't that small, it's pretty good size, but it's in the suburban Los Angeles area. I won't mention what city it is, but it's a pretty good sized town. So, okay, so I go down. So I volunteer, go down there. I've never been treated like this. I wore a suit, I report Monday morning. Our department's kind of bland, come in. I walked in there, and I walked in the office, the administrative offices, and there was a black guy in a suit next to me, and we come in and go, hey, what are you here for? You know, and I thought he was an applicant, but no, he's a supervisor from another city that wanted to come in and give these orals and help this city out, and he wanted to get ready. He wants to make lieutenant. A nice guy, same amount of time I have on, somewhere about 20 years. So he goes, I'm here. Oh, great. I was checking. He said, another cop. I mean, I love cops. Okay. So the other sergeant from the city comes out, and he knows who we are already. Oh, come on in. So we go in there, walk in. People coming over. You want water? You know, we have sandwiches. You know, they're treating me like whoa, what happened here? Like we are VIPs here. You know, very important police. We used to call that. Okay. So anyway, so we go in. They have a nice table. You know, they have water and you know, cookies and crackers. This is for the oral board. I never seen this before. I took some orals, and you walk into a plain room with chairs and a table, and that's it. It's all fancy. Got flowers. I mean, this is not smaller than 9,000 department. It's probably got about 800 people in their department. I mean, pretty good size. Civilians and everybody included. Okay, so, wow. Okay, so one of the fellow supervisors, the guy, I'll call him the board, the guy's in charge of the board, he's in the middle, and then the black gentleman's on one side. The reason I'm going to say that, it's going to come up in a minute, and I'm on this side. So you got a pretty good board. You have a Hispanic, you have a Caucasian, and you have a black. So I think I did that on purpose to make sure that people would think when you come in you have a chance, because it's not an all-white board or it isn't an all-black board or whatever. So I'll try to be briefing on some of these that come in though, but you got people coming in. So here they come. The first guy coming in. First guy. And the reason why I say he's a black gentleman is that we don't know each other as supervisors. We're just from, you know. Guy comes in. Remember now, he's taking an oral board to be a police officer. He's got a beard. He's got a members-only jacket. He's got a white shirt with a little collar about that big, button right here. Okay. That's weird. Comes in with like, you know, Docker black slacks. It's not that bad about the Docker, but wouldn't you want to put on a suit? Okay, so he sits down. Then didn't give me a very good oral. Okay, so he was a bartender or something. Oh, whatever. So he leaves. Remember, now it was a brand new board. We look at each other, and I'm thinking, uh-oh, because I didn't like this guy at all. I didn't like this look. I didn't like whatever. So then the black guy goes, because our table is kind of curved a little bit, so we could actually see each other. We're not like having to do this. You know, it's just a real slight curve on purpose, so you could look at the board. He kind of looks over and he goes, could the guy take a shave? Okay, so I thought, oh great, I got a real one here, because you're always worried about, I'm not saying just blacks, but you worry about minorities, trying to defend a minority just because they're a minority. We're trying to find the right people for the job. We don't care what color they are. And unfortunately, cops should be all in one framework: clean cut, all American, hardworking, obey the law. You know, that's what we want. We don't care what they are. I mean, I hired lesbians, and I don't care. They do their job. They do their job. Okay. So then I go, yeah. How about a suit? And now we're already bad mouthing them. You know? we're supervisors. There's no color here. You know. So okay, fine. So we had we each had a sheet of these. They printed out a sheet for each of us for this guy. They had 2 boxes in there. Okay. You know. No, and yes, and then a line behind it to put a percentage, like out of 100, what we thought he ranked. And anything over 80, they would reconsider him for the next level. Anything under 80, even though it was a yes, they put another stack, and then later on, if they feel like they have to look back, they can pull this stack and get the guys that are right on the edge. Okay, and then they had the no's. So we had a little tray in front. So I hand it to the main guy. He looks at it. He goes, "Put the no pile." And it was real simple. It's 20 minutes. We get 10 minutes to look at his information. He gets 10 minutes to tell him how bitching he is. We did that. We had 3 an hour going through this thing. We did it for 3 days. But that's the kind of stuff that was one of my supervisory duties. And we got some really good ones in there. We had a gal come in there talking about her mom being. This is in realcopstoriesvideos.com. I'll say it real quick. She sat down, very demure Caucasian girl. I mean, because all these people are like 21 years old. Sitting there like this, tables in front of her. And we're asking her some questions. And then we say, well, since you're a female, you're going to be called upon a lot to go to family disputes because women are being abused, and you'll be asked to talk to them because it's more compassionate for a woman to see a woman officer, and it's very good. It's been proven in the past that they calm the situation down with other ladies, and how you be able to handle that? Oh, I'll be able to do that, because and here it comes. They're trying to be honest, but sometimes it buries you. She goes, yeah, because I'm from Seattle, Washington, and my mom was a victim of my dad used to hit her. So we're thinking, wow, she really can relate to this, And she goes, yeah. And now remember, she's sitting like this, and he used to hit her once in a while. And oh, it's terrible. Because and then so I felt that my father left, and I felt that no one should hit women. And, well, no, you're right, ma'am. And no, she goes, well, no one should hit women. No one should do that. In fact, you can see I'm moving. She goes, they should not do that. She goes, you know what? He says, no one should ever, and she's banging the table. No one should ever hit women ever. And then somebody flicked her switch, and then she went. And we're sitting there going, I'm going, uh-oh, this is weird, okay? I'm not a psychiatrist, okay? But this is weird. Okay, so then she goes, so we have some more questions. She kind of sat down. She's very nice. Well, thank you very much. Very nice looking gal, okay, fine. So she gets up. Thank you. She goes out. As soon as that door clicks, man, we looked at each other going, oh my gosh, I go, the other board members go, we're laughing, like I'm just, all these bars are going, can you imagine her in a family dispute? You go up there, oh, you beat this lady? Okay, you shouldn't be doing that. I mean, come on. You could see her switch click in her body. When she got done banging, it was like, click, and she went back down again. Oh my gosh. I don't know what that is. I'm not a psychiatrist. I think it's bipolar. I think it's, who knows what it is? I don't know. I think we had a psychiatrist, and he'd probably go, I don't normally say this, but that's weird, okay? I'm not supposed to say words like that. I don't think it's psychiatrist. But anyway, so she was rejected. So you can see what's happening here is we're seeing a lot of stuff that as a young policeman we probably wouldn't even, that was obvious, but some of the stuff we didn't notice. But I have 21 years on, he's got 20. That's why they put people of that position, our position at that level in there, because we have so much experience, we can kind of weed out the ones that we felt shouldn't be there. There was another couple other ones that are the same way, and we just kind of, okay, fine. And we had a lot of good ones, very good ones, and a couple of them were exceptionally good. And one of them worked for the city already. She was what do you call it, a parking checker. You write parking tickets, but she knew her stuff. And we give some law questions, basic law questions. They're not expected to know anything about the law. But so we tell them some general things. We get some good answers. I got to tell you one, which is one guy is. I got to tell you this. I'm trying to keep this story short, and I hope I don't have time for this. But I got the nod. Yes. Tickets. Now, do you know tickets are the lowest form of, I guess, crime you can come up with. When you don't sign a ticket and you put handcuffs on you, it's not because of the ticket. The ticket's not the crime you get handcuffed for. The handcuffing is for because you're not going to go in front of the judge. You're not going to sign that form saying I will appear in court. That's not the reason why you're going to jail. That you're denying that you're going to appear for that ticket. That's why you're not going because you blew a red light. It's just people need to know that. Okay, so. We asked them, okay, you're at a stop sign, or you're watching a stop sign, and your sergeant says, you want you to write tickets. The first guy goes through, you pull him over, and it's a cop going into shift from your department. What do you do? Most of the guys say, well, I'll talk to him, he should be doing that. Okay, fine. This guy goes, oh, I write him a ticket. Oh, interesting. And we look for things like that to jump on, so to speak. Okay, fine. You write him a ticket? Your own guy, right? Your own partner? You work day shift, you work night shift? Yeah. Okay. You sit there, another half an hour goes by, car goes through, you pull it over. It's your mother. Oh, I'd write her a ticket. Okay, why? Well, because, she should know better and blah, blah, blah. She has a license for 40 years. I'm thinking to myself, really? The last Happy Mother's Day, okay, or Thanksgiving, the last thing I want to do is write a ticket to my mother, okay? So anyway, okay, fine. So we thought, so the guy in the end goes, he was another the black gentleman, he says, I got one, okay. Next hour goes by and goes through, and it's your chief. He would appreciate me writing him a ticket. why would he appreciate you writing him a ticket? It was, well, because, he knows on and on. Okay. So the middle guy looks, we all thought the same way. He goes, let me ask you a question. Do you know what a ticket is? Yes, I do. What is it? Oh, it's called I think it's called a tort, I think is the word for it. He goes, oh, you got that written up, right? You know that it's discretionary? Hugely discretionary. It's not a crime. You don't have to write anybody. You just sat there. You don't. You can stop people all day long and warn them. I said, he says, some city, trying to educate this young man, some cities write tickets for revenue. Some cities, unfortunately, write tickets for traffic control. Some cities write tickets so that people can see that the cops are out there. At these intersections where people scream at everybody, at the police going, they're always racing down the street. Well, then you see a police car pulling people over. They go, hey, all right, they finally stopped somebody. You've probably been there where, oh, I finally see a guy blew a red light. Finally there's a cop there. Well, write tickets for a lot of reasons. But you don't have to write anybody. You don't have to write the chief. You don't have to write anybody. If your sergeant says pull people over and give them warnings, so we're telling him, he's like, oh, he never really realized you didn't have to write her. He got somewhere in his mind, everybody gets a ticket. So anyway, it's just stuff like that. So it's a weird thing. So anyway, so I did that. I really enjoyed it. I wanted to go back, but then other things came up that I couldn't do it. Very educational from both ways. I learned very good later on when I gave orals to bring people in to work for me, how to word sentences certain ways, how to make sure I don't get in trouble because I don't want to feel like anybody's thinking I'm homophobic or racial or anything like that, because our department's is a mixed race department, so I want to make sure nobody thinks they're offended by the way I ask them questions. So all that I learned as a supervisor. I got that sponge, it's starting to almost get full. I consider a full sponge of me being top step, running the squad, and that's coming up. But I'm pretty close. So I want to make sure I'm doing this right and correct. And these guys, I think we all pretty much bounced off each other because we all had about the same amount of time on the job. We're all supervisors. We learned from this. I learned from this. You think you wouldn't? You think, oh, I'm on the board. I'm the top dog. I should know what's going on. No. You always got to keep your mind open to learning all this stuff and how people respond to your questions and how people don't respond to your questions. Very interesting, very good assignment. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad I volunteered for it. And later on, it'll bear fruit of the tree that I just planted when I'm going to these oral boards. Anyway, so I'm done with that one. And I'll see you a little bit. Okay, bye bye.